Hi, this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Cozy Up layout number 2. So this is how I ended up, and I will show you how I get there. So you can go to dorothy.closetomyheart.com and you can purchase this kit that makes 3 2-page layouts. And you can follow the instructions like I do here, or if you want to get footloose and fancy free, you can do that too. It's all up to you. But you're given all sorts of beautiful coordinated papers and cardstocks to scrap to your heart's content. So let me show you how I put it together. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here are the instructions. And I've gone ahead and cut up all the papers. Here's the project number 2. And we're since I cut up the papers, I actually made a mistake. You'll find it no surprise. And I cut off a 1/2 inch on either side of one of my background papers. So what I decided to do was go ahead and cut a 1/2 inch off on either side of the other one, and to back them with the mocha cardstock, so it doesn't show up. It just gives more depth. Now, what we're going to do, this is one of the exclusive papers, and we're going to mask off with the masking tape here. We're going to mask off the parts of the stencil that we're not going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just kind of adjusting where I want my leaves to go, and we're going to use this Spiced Marmalade Distress Oxide. I'll get it out. And using my blending brush and the foam tool, the foam dome, to color. You want to hold your stencil really tight down onto the paper. Now, I said this paper is exclusive. It is. You won't find this printed like this in Close to My Heart. But what we do have is some irresistible paper that has dots that like this that are irresistible, and you could actually color your own and make your own coordinated paper to go with whatever background paper you've got. So I'm using toffee here to color the dots that are in between the leaves. So there we've got our little smattering of leaves, and maybe those should be acorns, I don't know. Anyway, I'm taking my Sepia pen, the Le Pen, and I'm just making little stems here just for accent. So I'm just kind of looking where else. The other page gets some papers, some leaves also. So one gets in the bottom corner, the other one gets in the top corner. Once again, I'm going to use my masking tape and mask off, and I'm kind of attaching it a little bit to the paper here so I can, not get any ink on the surrounding paper. So, and you can, I'm kind of just dotting the toffee, and then I'll pull out my spiced marmalade again. You can rub this, or because there's so many sharp points, that kind of interferes with the rubbing, so you may want to just dab at the color, and then you can get as much or as little color as you want, and you can vary it a lot easier, which, leaves, especially fall leaves, they vary in color. They're usually not a solid color. So once again, we're adding the little stems to it, and that just adds a little touch to the leaves. The leaves are, I think they're wonderful. I love them. But that just adds a little bit more reality to the subject, maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my craft mat away. This is so easy to wipe off. So it's really helpful to have stuff like this. Okay, so this is what I did. I cut a frame, so that's 2 inches all the way around. Now look at how that scarlet paper looks so good with the brown, with the toffee. And I really shouldn't be putting tape runner in the middle, because now everything's going to stick to that. So I've got to take it off later on. But I did think about kind of outline, see, oy, silly girl, outlining the background paper with like a gold or a bronze kind of color. I'll have to play with that a little bit to see if I want to add a touch, or maybe I just don't want to show off that I, did what I did. But it doesn't look bad. It was affixed to kind of a whoops, another whoops of mine. Okay, so here comes the paper we just stamped, and I'm abutting it to the other background paper that has words written all over it. And then there's this piece of, I believe it's 4x12, that goes across from one end to the other. And it's 4 inches down. And once again, you can always make these your own. You can use the flip side of the paper if you want to. If you don't want books, then you can use the flip side. So, and then we've got a piece of desert rose that is going along the bottom there, and I'm showing the light side of it. So look at how nice those little leaves look popping up from there, from the top. And I'm just going to put 2 4x4s in place. And it goes over about 2 inches from the side, and then I think this gets abutted, it does, right to the other side. And now you've got 2 inches left on either side showing the color and activity that's going on with the books and the glasses and the pots of tea. So I'm just using my anti-static pouch and I'm going to pop it up to put Thankful for You. I'm going to pop that up with the thicker foam tape. And I just did the anti-static so that it wouldn't stick to the picture underneath. So it's kind of going off a little bit left of center. And then we've got this big cluster. I mean, it's a big cluster of pumpkins and leaves and greenery and cute little botanical pieces to add interest. And I'm just going to tuck some of the greenery behind and add another little pumpkin. And he's a real pretty color. And then there's a nice little phrase that matches that can go on that pumpkin, which I'll be doing in a minute. So I take that off because I realized that the greenery was from this little pumpkin cluster. So I'll use him later. And I am going to go ahead and pop this pumpkin up. So it's always fun to have a little bit of dimension. So pop some things up, and so I put the little phrase that comes from the sheet down at the bottom. And I'm looking for things and realize, oh, you silly girl, you haven't popped out the die cuts from the last page, or the first page, whichever. And so I'm just putting the number 3s up to the left there. And I knew I was missing some pieces that weren't stickers. So that's where I kind of like, uh-oh, what happened? So now had I popped all these out to begin with, I would have had my little piles ready to go. So in a way, that's kind of good for going ahead and popping out your die cuts and making little piles of Project 1, Project 2, and Project 3. So these little banners go up top of Thankful for You and on an angle and then tucked behind. So it comes together. You want to, when you're making your cluster groups, you want to have kind of an odd number of things. So don't do pairs, just do odd numbers. So 3, 5, even 7. If you've got a whole bunch of little things, but keep it to an odd number, and the eye seems to deal with that better. So I'm just adding a whole bunch of leaves from the sticker sheet, and then there's a cute little snail that goes there, and then some mushrooms too. And I haven't seen mushrooms like this. These were real popular, these super rounded mushrooms. They were real popular in, I think, the early 70s. I mean, everything was mushrooms. Cookie jars, salt and pepper shakers. I mean, you name it, everything was those little rounded mushrooms. So that really takes me back to, I won't tell you when in my life, but a long time ago. Okay, so I clearly missed putting something here. I decided I kind of needed to pop this one up. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing that so I can put some other leaves underneath. See, this is a huge grouping. It's just lots and lots. And I really like that little cluster. It looks like it always reminds me of Pussy Willow for some reason. So I'm trying to figure out, there's leaves that are missing. And then it occurs to me, oh, those were stamped. So I am just putting a maple leaf there and one of the other leaves. I guess it's like an oak leaf. Maybe. So one in marmalade, one in toffee. So that kind of, then I put another real light one in the toffee. See how it looks really cool that things aren't all the same strength of color. So you want to have things varied. It just looks a little bit more realistic and a little bit more, realistic. I don't know how else to say it. It's just more pleasing, more artistic. So now I'm just kind of going wild with all these I love these little stars and hearts and dots of, there's 4 different colors there, including the gold glitter. And so, yeah, we got lots of glue on here. So I'm going to take my handy dandy thing that looks like an eraser that I used as an eraser and see how good it takes off the glue. I mean, if you have glue any place where you don't want it to be, and I'm being kind of rough, I'm taking some of the paper off too, but I don't care because it's the backside and it's all right. But that's the other thing that this little guy that little tool is good for. And I can have a tendency to go wild on the glue, and it'll, you'll see it on the front of the page too. So that little thing is really handy. It's one of the cheaper tools in scrapbooking and small, so easy to store, easy to pay for. Adding some more glitter dots. Okay, so now here we're going to page 2. And what I'm saying here is that there's a difference between page 1 and page 2. On page 1, the strip went under the, or over the 2 long sheets. I'll get it out. I swear I will. Okay, I am going ahead, and this time, I'm putting the Tombow runner. I'm running through Tombows too. I'm like, golly, what's going on? Keep on picking up an empty one. So I'm putting it on the frame instead of on the back of the paper. And that way I can just, go ahead and, I was thinking I was doing it wrong, but you're fine, Dorothy. You just, Now I can put it on there, and I actually got it so that none of the glue showed. It's amazing. And then we put our white piece in place. And that gets placed equidistant, smack in the middle. And then we're going to put, see, that's the other side of that paper. It's cute. It's really cute. Okay, so that's going to go. You want to make sure your words are going right side up. And then, see, the pumpkin is the other side of that, the other paper. So now they have, oh, I missed putting a couple of leaves up top. And to tell you the truth, I should have put more because I kind of ended up covering up one. But, you know, you always have time to do these things. Got to put my little stems in. So if you had a bunch of pumpkin pictures, like you took the kids to the pumpkin patch, you could totally use the pumpkin side of it. Okay, so here we've got our leaves on there. And we abut it up to that might be pumpkin, actually. No, it's not pumpkin. What is that color? I'll think in a minute. So it gets, I'm just trying to, I've got it a little off. Need to just kind of straighten it out a little bit. And I'm putting it on top instead of underneath because I wanted it to be more like the first page. So I'm just lining them up so I can get it in the right place. There we go. I'm going to put a little line there and then go ahead and add my tape runner. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you subscribe. This is fall. It's a little early for doing this, but we're also getting ready for school to go back. And so, you know, it kind of makes sense to have a bunch of books. You know, maybe you've got kids going back to elementary or middle school or high school. Maybe you have some that are starting college. Scary thought, because they're getting older. So anyway, it makes sense, you know, running into August next week that we have, you know, books here. Because we all know school doesn't come without a whole lot of reading. I am having a big time with tape runners. You know, some people use the big ATG ones, but they're just too big for my hand. And so I've wanted to use something that has, you know, a big amount of tape, but it's just too big for my hand. It's too clunky for me. So now this gets 3 4x4s. And so I'm just kind of putting them down, and they get put up right up, they abut the next one. And then this gets this little piece. So it's, do you put the pumpkins or do you put the books? Well, I decided to be consistent and let the books show. Especially those eyeglasses. I love those glasses. Okay, so then this is one of the die cuts, and it has the dovetail cut showing. So I'm going to put that arrowhead underneath. And then this gets the cornucopia, which, you know, also screams fall, doesn't it? All sorts of apples and looks like some kind of squash coming out of there. Some jam, maybe, homemade jam, which sounds really good. Okay, there's my little tab from the die cut. And things are looking pretty good. I just need, maybe another leaf. Now, instead of using cut strips, I'm going to use these super easy to deal with self-stick journaling strips. So these are available. Just makes things really simple. I think I was getting tired. That's a little crooked up there. Left a little bit too much room. I could actually have room for one more strip in there. Okay, so I'm going to use some more. I'm going to do some more dotting here. I love these little things. They really use, I love how they gave us so many. We got a package and a half. And so that was really cool that we got that many so we could use lots of these. They're so small that using a whole bunch of them doesn't make it gaudy. And I like it encompasses all the colors too. And you can just kind of put them wherever you want to tell you the truth. If something needs a little sparkle, put one of the gold glitter gems up there. But they really, they're so small, but they really add a lot to the whole layout. Just they kind of pull your eye up here and kind of pull your eye down, and it ends up being nice clusters kind of all over the place. See, I have a hard time stopping. So there we go. Okay. This is the home stretch. I'm going to add one more leaf up here in toffee. I'm just going to kind of do a little slight overlap there, and then add my stem, and that just kind of finishes that corner, that little nook there. And we have some nice little phrases. So I'm going to put one over here and a couple over on the left. And I decided to put a little tilt on them. And that big old leaf goes right under there. But it's kind of tight with the glue, so I cut it off so it could set in there a little bit deeper. So there we go. I hope you like this. I think it's a great kit, and I'm having fun making it. I love the stenciling. You could just go wild with the stenciling. Thanks for watching. Bye now.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.